And the last one was because we got question marks right here on our heads. What was the last one?
I hate when you do this to me.
This is literally what happens to us every day. What is it?
Can you splice this?
I'm totally going to keep this. So we're having a discussion. How many weeks did you work more than 40 hours a week? Was that even a thing?
That was every week of my first 3 years for sure. It took me longer to do documentation, and it took me longer to brainstorm plans of care, and it took me longer to research things that I wasn't 100% comfortable with. So of course I put in over 40 hours a week every week of my first 3 years that I was treating.
So there's a difference there. Is it more than 40 hours of patient care, or is it 40 hours of patient care plus personal development / catching up? Because those are different ball games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
They're different entities. So let's go with the standard 40 hours of patient care, and somehow you have to document on that. And then you actually have to want to care and develop programs and then plans of care.
And the research for the surgery that you've never heard of.
I've never heard of bilateral ulnar subluxation. That was a fun one that I had a case study on. So we're doing this because we get it. We've been there. And for those of you who need to hear this, it is normal to feel this way. Two, there's a brighter light to this that you might not see in that you literally, this is so good for you. It is so good for you. You just can't see it right now. And you're but I don't want to do more than 40. And this is assuming this is for the right person. One person could totally just want to work
9 to 5
and get in and out. Cool. Not a problem. However, for
those people are okay too.
Cool. You do you, boo, right?
Yeah.
Next. For those who want growth, right? You actually want to be really good at your craft, and you want to do it in a faster timeline. You don't want to wait 10 years. Who wants to wait that long? Especially nowadays, Amazon changed the game. I want it tomorrow. I want to be a specialist tomorrow. So if you really want to be an expert, really good, maybe you don't think about a residency. You're not really into taking an OCS or an SCS, but you still want to be really good because there's a lot of people who want to do that. And who cares? I don't think initials or special things mean any different, but I think that people who are genuinely passionate about their craft, there's something about those humans. They're really, really good at what they do. So if that's for you, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So knowing that, so you did a lot of 40-hour work weeks.
Yes.
More than 40
More
hours.
than 40 hour work weeks.
Okay, so that was 40 hours of patient care, and then the rest was
documentation, research, and occasionally I would take the extra person.
Okay.
Maybe one of my clients wanted to get in, they only wanted to see me. And of course, someone else had an opening and they could have easily have gone onto someone else's caseload,
Right.
but I wanted that person. It was important to me.
Yep.
And I wanted the continuity of care. So I worked the extra hour, the extra half hour to make sure that they were on my schedule so that I could progress in the way I wanted to.
For sure. And if I pose that same question to myself, how many weeks have I worked more than 40 hours a week?
I've been married to him, so I know this answer.
I would say I did a residency, and that was 80 plus. And you just slept with it. You dreamt of residency. And then I worked for the USOC.
Yes.
And that was a lot of 70, 80-hour work
Yes.
weeks. And then I did pro sports.
Yep.
And that
that's
was
you're
always on.
Gone,
Yep.
yeah.
So how many weeks did I not work over 40-hour weeks? Yeah, for sure. So
that's actually the more accurate way to count.
Right.
How many weeks did you only work 40
Right.
hours a week?
Right.
Because the majority of the time you worked over.
Right. And so here's the benefit and opportunity. The reason why we're telling you this is because we get it, we understand that feeling. And sometimes you're just why am I doing this? It's good for you. It's so good for you. And we were talking about 3 really good reasons why working more than 40 is an opportunity. And people are seriously, opportunity? Number one, from your colleagues, your peers, other PTs are literally going to look at you and be I admire that. That's admirable. Good for you. That's literally the phrase that we use for you.
Yeah.
Number one still is that I think also your employers, your supervisors, they're also going to see that, and that creates opportunities down the line.
Yes.
I will say the 3 jobs that I've had were all by referral, by somebody else who saw the work ethic, who saw the extra effort, and they were the ones who vouched for me. So that creates opportunities. Number two, what was number two? See?
You asked me this before.
I understand. All right. Number two is that this is why you got into the profession the entire time. This is
to help people.
To help people. And sometimes, like, people don't have clocks, right? Like, we talk about our kids. Like, they have no idea, like, why we're doing this. They have no concept of time. They're literally like, why can't we just do this now? And that's just humans. Like, they're not doing anything wrong. They assume that you're here to help. And sometimes it requires, like, if you've ever been, I remember being at, like, a certain convenience store and, like, it was about to close and they stayed over for me just a little bit to, like, go in, and you're like, that's amazing. I will be loyal to this place. And that's what the difference is. If you can't see it from, like, I don't want to stay an extra hour, from, like, to then, how is this an opportunity? Those people literally will be loyal to you for a lot of times because they do recognize that. We've had our accountant or other people, like, help us out and go that extra mile. We're like, man,
we're not
loyalty
them.
for sure. So it creates that. Don't forget why you got into this profession is because you literally want to help people. And sometimes I forget that because you start seeing numbers and salaries and, like, it's hard. You get, like, tunnel vision and come back to the reason why. For me, it was my grandma. For you, it was your ACL, like, on why we got into this. And so it's just, like, keep that perspective. And the last one was because we got question marks right here on our heads. What was the last one?
When you do this to me.
This is literally what happens to us every day. What is it?
Can you splice this?
I'm totally going to keep this. We remember the third one. All right.
You're going to get better.
What do you mean?
More reps, more experience. You're going to be a better clinician.
So it's
versus
a reps
being
game.
a bare minimum type of clinician that you're just average.
Yeah.
If you put in the reps, you go the extra mile, that work shows up in your skills,
right,
and your experience is expedited,
right,
so you get better faster.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like, if you're trying to get better at basketball and, like, do free throws, you can't just do it at practice. You, like, literally have to show up before, after, and the problem is that patients or athletes aren't going to show up before, after, or if they do, like, you don't see it as an opportunity. You're like, I just need a couple more free throws, and that's literally it. And I've had PTs that I've mentored who've taken that approach, and, like, you see them getting exponentially better because it's not like one rep equals, like, one new patient. It's exponential. That one, you just, like, coach that, mentor that a little bit more, and the next one's, like, exponentially better. So, like, every single rep gets, like, compounding. It's like compounding interest. Anyways, yeah, so it's better for you, and it's an opportunity. So 3 reasons why working more than 40 is an opportunity and is so good for you. So we hope this helps. Truly, we've spent a lot of time working more than those 40, and we can see it from the back end. And it will help you down the line. So, like, stay positive, stay focused, and yeah. Do you agree?
I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that feel like you're working overtime and you're not seeing the benefits of it, just stay the course, because it's not an immediate gratification type of thing. This is a benefit that you will see down the road. So if you are one of those physical therapists that are putting in the hours and you don't see that benefit, that instant gratification, you will see it one day. Stay the course, keep being an amazing clinician.
Yeah, that's so hard because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't see it. It's not even going to help me in, like, 1 month. This is, like, so far down the line. Yeah, keep that in perspective, and we hope that helps.